Good Sunday morning to everybody. Weather Extra. Good to see y'all. And I got a lot to talk about, believe it or not, even though it's a very quiet weather pattern headed our way. It starts today, and if you are out and about this morning, you will notice an instant difference about how beautiful it feels. Temperatures this morning in the 50s. There were actually a few upper 40s in Giles County. It's also where we had a little fog. That has burned off, and this is really beautiful in Decatur right now. Sunrise was beautiful. What was really great was I was on air this morning. The moon was going down, the sun was coming up, and the moon is full. Technically, it's full this afternoon at 2 o'clock when it's below the horizon, but for our purposes, for eyeballing it, it was full this morning, and it had that beautiful red tone to it. It was like the hues were amazing, and I got this beautiful look in Athens. I took a little screenshot of it, and I put it up on my Facebook page as a cover photo. And it was a winter chicken dinner look. And if you had an opportunity to see the full moon this morning, it was pretty glorious. As the moon went down, the sun came up, and the sunrise was just as beautiful and a little cool out there. Saw a lot of boats on the water going fishing early this morning. If you're thinking about doing a little fishing today, there will be a bit of a breeze today with the winds gusting 20 miles an hour, but that wind is out of the north, and that's tugging down some very cool air. In fact, areas to the north, waking up winter-like in the northern plains with some 30s. We are not that cold and not going to be that cold, but certainly a refreshing air mass replacing the 90-degree temperatures we had on Friday. Speaking of sunrises and sunsets, you lose about 2 minutes per day in the month of September on your daylight. And we are now 15 days away from the fall equinox, which is the official arrival of fall. But we can still pop some 90-degree temperatures from now until then, and I do think we will on that 10-day forecast I'll share with you in a moment. But today will be nothing close to 90. These 60s and even some 50s that you see here now will be 75 to 80 this afternoon. There's that really cold air mass in the blue to the northern plains where there's some 30s this morning. That's really chilly for this time of year. That's not fall-like. That's just like winter in your face. But much of the U.S. is going to enjoy, one, a quiet weather pattern and a cooler weather pattern for the week ahead. Not just here in the Tennessee Valley. It's for many, many locations. Speaking of quiet, I'm going to sidebar for a moment. The tropics in the Atlantic are very quiet. Pacific's active, but Atlantic, for our purposes, is quiet. There was an area of concern in the central and southern Caribbean wave. It doesn't look like it's going to develop now. So Gabrielle never happened. Even though at one point it had an 80% chance of being a named system. That has now done. So we're still stuck on F, was the last one, which was Fernan. And right now, for peak hurricane season, much like the weather across the lower 48, very quiet in the tropics, which is good news for those that are vulnerable to tropical impacts. Nothing tropical about our forecast. Gusty winds up to 20 miles an hour with a cool feel. Anything but tropical out there today. Good stuff. Enjoy. It's going to be a beautiful day. Next 12 hours, take temperatures to the mid to upper 70s. We'll flirt aggressively with 80, but probably fall short. If you are doing a little fishing out there and you're on the boat, it's going to be a little breezy. But playing a little pickleball outside, that pickleball is going to be going all over the place. You ever try to play pickleball outside, you know what I'm talking about. Eric Burke, myself, Matthew, we call it the 48 Pickleball Posse. Yep. We're not so bad. I played terrible last time we played. I was so embarrassed how I played. But we're not so bad. We okay. We hang ourselves. We hang with other. We hang ourselves. We hang around with other people that are like half our age, and we do all right. But nonetheless, when you try to play outdoor pickleball, that wind, it's like for those of you who've never played pickleball, it's like a wiffle ball. If you ever played wiffle ball before, boy, the wind catches that thing, and it's like, you literally have to adjust for the wind. But if you play indoors, that doesn't happen. But the indoor playing costs money. And so we play outdoors as much as we can. Tonight, clear, cool. Temperatures in the 50s, looks good. 3-day forecast just gets better and better Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 80s by day, 50s at night. The change will come Thursday and Friday, and I will pop the 10-day up here once I get it up. There to the screen. There it is. Boom. All right. So there's your 10-day forecast. It gets a little warmer by the end of the week and probably could bump those temperatures up a bit for Thursday and Friday. I think we're going to go 90. Same for Saturday and Sunday of next weekend. It's not going to be like a gross 90. It's going to be a tolerable 90, if that makes any sense. Everyone's like, Jeff, it's 90. What are you talking about? The humidity will go up a little bit by the end of the week, but it's not like the July and early August kind of humidity. It's more doable. But whenever we put 90s on the 10-day forecast, it gets a lot of people upset because they're ready for PSL season, and then you see 90 and you think anything but PSL season. But ironically, the next week, our normal high temperature, typical climatological high temperature, is like 89 or 88. So it's not really that far from where we should be. But that's a real quiet 10-day. A good thing that we had some rainfall yesterday, because if we didn't, it would have been a long time in between raindrops. So yesterday, many areas picked up about 1 to as much as 3 inches of rain with that Saturday morning solid soaker. And once the rain moved out, the clouds were really slow to move out. There was still like pockets of sprinkles and a little drizzle in the afternoon, but nonetheless, it was a good soaking rain that was badly needed, especially when we knew what was coming down the pike for the 10-day forecast, where it was going to be mainly sunny and dry. So I mentioned this on, I think, Friday's Weather Extra. We had to get something Friday night into Saturday, or it could have been real bad. And we did. Some areas actually had some rain Friday night. And then if you didn't have it Friday night, it was a true soaker on Saturday. And just a friendly reminder, when there's rain in the forecast for Friday night through Saturday at noon, and you wake up with me at 5 o'clock in the morning and you think you missed on the rain, just let the forecast play out a little bit longer. It'll usually works itself out all right. And by the time you get to the noontime hour, I think everybody can say they had a pretty decent rain. Now, I'm sure there's some of you who maybe felt like you fell a little short, but the numbers say otherwise. It was a good soaking rain across the board. But not good for the Coleman barbecue yesterday. I know a lot of people were kind of bummed about that. Once the rain moved out, I'm sure it was all right. The wine and beer festival at Toyota Field worked out to be okay. I saw a lot of people I saw B-roll of the activities there yesterday at Toyota Field, and there was a lot of people in sweatshirts. I put a sweatshirt on last night when I watched my Louisiana Monroe Warhawks get lambasted by Alabama. I thought Alabama was going to put 100 on them. Tatiana laughed over. I told Matthew in the morning, I said, Alabama's mad. They lost first week against Florida State. They're playing the sacrificial lamb, Louisiana Monroe today. And I'm telling you right now, if there's any football team that will put 100 points on another team, it would be today Alabama against Monroe. And he laughed at me because they won't put 100 on. They'll stop at like 70. And he was right on. They stopped at 73. We waved the white flag at that point and said, okay, that's enough. I really thought they were going to put at least 80. I was shocked they stopped at 73. They could have put more on. They started running the ball. It was rough. Speaking of football, NFL season kicks off today. Hope your favorite team wins. I'm always torn on who follows who here in North Alabama and Middle Tennessee. I would assume it's the majority Tennessee Titan fans, but I don't know. I am a Titans fan. I talked to a ton of you that are Titans fans. I always love when the first game comes up and I have a flood of messages in my Facebook Messenger telling me to tighten up. This is our year. And then we go watch the first game and we're like, oh gosh, we still stink. But we'll see what happens. Titans play today at 3. A lot of you are Falcons fans in this area. It seems like everywhere I go, somebody's a Dallas Cowboy fan. Tatiana, what's your favorite NFL football team? Do you have one?
I think the Baltimore Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens. Oh, you like the winners. Okay, yeah. All right, that's fine. Yep. Yeah. Lamar Jackson's pretty good. I need Lamar Jackson to throw me for 1 yard tonight. That's all I need him to do. But Ravens are a good choice as well. And around here, though, like when I worked in Wyoming, there was I felt like a disconnect from like the NFL a bit because there's really no teams. But the Broncos were real big there. When I was in Illinois, a lot of people were torn. A lot of them used to be St. Louis Rams fans. And then they left, so the Bears were kind of more popular. And then when I worked in New York, the Giants and Jets. And I used to do weather hits for the Giants games that would play on the big screen at East Rutherford twice during the game when I worked in New York. And I always get these people who go to the Giants game and be like, bro, were you just on the big screen? I'm like, yeah, I recorded that this morning. I'm at home watching the game now. I used to do some hits for ES Network, too, for the Yankees. Those were the days. then when I was in Providence, everybody followed the Patriots. They had to play the Titans and won a playoff game, and I actually made a Tennessee Titans forecast instead of a New England Patriots forecast with Derrick Henry as the backdrop. That didn't go over very well. Yeah, it was probably one of my lowest moments ever in TV. Still proud of it, though. All right. Everybody have a good Sunday. Very quiet on here today. If you ever come in for Weather Extra and you want to say hi or something, or even if you want to say something mean to me, I'm okay. I can take it. Got thick skin. But I'd love to see you say something and say hi. We want you to just to be like, I like it, at least when I do it. I like to be interactive. I know the weather's really quiet, not really a lot to talk about. But, yeah, always feel free to chime in and say hi if you want to. Let us know where you're at watching. But quiet stream, I'm going to bust a move out of here. Jada's in tonight. She'll have the very latest on this very quiet weather pattern. Maybe bumping those temperatures up a little bit for Thursday and Friday. Eric Burke will be back here tomorrow, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 4:30, giving you all the weather updates that you need to know. And for, at least for now, looking at the forecast models and based on that 10-day, it's going to be a real quiet pattern. Eric might be kind of struggling tomorrow morning to fill his time. We'll see what happens because it's pretty much a rinse and repeat every single day with just a little bump up each and every day with the temperatures. So everybody have a fantastic Sunday. We'll talk soon.